How's it going, everybody? It's me, the Runescape historian, here back with something slightly different than normal. We're going to look at something that is just now 12 years old, which in Runescape years, that might as well be a freaking fossil at this point. On February 25th of 2009, a huge random event overhaul occurred, as well as a price checker being implemented into the game. However, all of these quality of life updates would not come without any issues. The more tech-savvy users on the game quickly found out by using alt code 0181, which produced a Greek alphabet letter, would cause the game clients to crash. They would protect themselves by turning off all of their chat so it would not crash their own game, and they would go spamming it at the Grand Exchange and World 2 and other various places, even in PvP worlds, God Wars, anywhere that was crowded or populated, you name it, people were doing this bug. They would use the alt code. It would attempt to appear on other users' game clients. This could be via private chat, clan chat, friends chat, and public chat. So the only way to protect yourself against this was to turn all of those off. It would attempt to display this to users who did not take these precautions, and because the game client at the time could not display this Greek alphabet letter, it caused those players' game clients to completely crash. In the beginning stages, it was used more of a prank at Varrock Square, Lumbridge Castle. You'll see many clips showing these areas and other just non-dangerous crowded areas. The problem started to occur when people would start doing it in the wilderness, PvP worlds, bounty hunter crater, and that sort of stuff. Ultimately, this led to hundreds of players losing millions of gold. Before it was officially fixed, they ended up closing down areas such as bounty hunter and PvP worlds. Before word of this glitch got out, I actually remember thinking my old crappy Dell desktop was to blame, and I was getting so mad at it because it would just freeze the entire desktop and cause you to like force close the client if it didn't redirect to the bug page. Luckily, this only happened to me in non-dangerous areas. I would eventually go bossing during this time, but I would have all of my chat set to off until it was officially fixed. The reason I found out was because a couple of my friends actually researched it and found a couple of videos on YouTube, and we just kind of told each other what was going on in Swift IRC, which was an IRC chat built into SwiftKit. It was actually really nice. Had a bunch of bots and other things in it. And yeah, in that last clip, you saw people getting dropped by General Grardor due to them basically having their client freeze up completely, which, you know, really sucks. I think these clips right here in Soul Wars really crack me up because you can see he just claws somebody, but before he goes for the claws or like attacks most of these people, he uses that code to make them crash so that he gets an advantage in the fight. And I think at one point he's actually starting to get piled and you see him just spam using it, trying to get rid of the people on him. Kind of cracked me up. Also unrelated to the bug, but on the dragon claws, if you notice on the tip it has a red circle, that's because of the lending system. So a player actually lent him those claws for an allotted amount of time. You could do it for like 1 hour to all the way up to like 24 hours, I believe. What also made me laugh is right before he does it, like most of the time, he vigorously like shakes his mouse over the top of it like in a circular pattern to make sure you notice. This glitch occurred around the RuneScape HD era, which was like 2008 all the way up to Evolution of Combat, and you can tell by looking at that God Sword that was pictured a little bit ago. It's actually pretty good looking. I very much like the God Swords the way they are in old school though, because I believe also with the God Sword update they changed the way they hit, and they changed like the Zamorak God Sword special to where it like stabs and like an ice block comes out. More like an ice shard, I guess, that like stabs into someone. It was cool, but I like the traditional like orange streak with the classic ice barrage animation. So if you caught that at the beginning of this specific clip, he tells you the alt code people were using around this time. All the clips in this video are from the date of the glitch, so they're all very relevant to the topic. But looking back, that probably got quite a bit of people banned, because even people who were just jokingly using it a handful of times on friends and stuff had the huge potential of being banned. I don't know how long the bans lasted for, but I do know for a fact they were given out to a ton of people even using this Greek character. But that guy's not at fault, of course. If people were curious enough to want to try it, they could easily just Google it, just by knowing what the symbol looks like. So earlier I believe I misspoke. They didn't actually shut down PvP worlds until the bug was fixed. They more just advised people to stay away from it. They did, however, close down Bounty Hunter, Clan Wars, Dangerous Free-for-all arenas, Staked Dueling, and Duel Arena tournaments, which was a thing at the time, where you would compete in a pretty large bracket and the person at the end won all the pooled prize money. In essence, that was how the glitch worked. People would run up, like this guy in the video, and just start spamming the character just to see people log out. They would especially do this in World 2 because you could see like 200 people just poof, vanish. And I admit it must have been pretty fun to see at the time. So what were the results from all of this? So without a doubt, people who were the main abusers of this glitch were given at least temporary bans. I'm sure a few of them were maybe even given perm bans over it just due to the amount of GP other players lost. It was a weird time in RuneScape, and I believe this event actually gets very overlooked by other YouTubers and other content creators. It's not their fault, it's kind of obscure. Maybe a few of them have covered it. It just gets often overlooked, and I believe it was very interesting just because of the amount of GP that was lost during this time, as well as the amount of players that were kicked off the game repeatedly. Some players that were uninformed and didn't look at the homepage very often or the forums very often actually stayed off the game for weeks to avoid losing money or avoid crashing because they didn't understand the full nature of the glitch. Oh, and if any of you are interested about the millions of GP that players lost, there was no rollback given at all. So the bans were given, no rollback was given. Also, if you try doing this in-game on old school, it doesn't cause the crash, of course. It goes through just fine and can be displayed with no issue. And really, guys, that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know the typical stuff to do. I'm not going to bug you about it. And of course, I want to thank y'all for watching this video and for all of your support. I just want y'all to know that I do appreciate it very, very much, and I will see you in the next one. This is RuneScape Historian, checking out. Later.